There will come a point in your manifestation journey that the 3D will show you complete opposite. And here is where 90% of the people give up thinking that they are not doing it correctly. It happened with me so many times. Even after manifesting my specific person, I ended up being blocked on the day I was supposed to meet him. And mind you, I was actually traveling across cities. So I was in a moment of panic and also a lot of nervousness, and it was literally a do or die situation for me. If you have watched my story and also my SP's POV, which I had uploaded earlier, you know that a major part of my manifestation revolved around the fear whether he will show up in my 3D or not, because most of our connection was based online. So even after I had manifested my SP, my biggest fear, my biggest resistance was still the fact, what if things go wrong even before the first date? And this is exactly the condition of most of the people. And yesterday Sammy posted a video which is very important about affirmations. A lot of people in the community are going on about why do you have to affirm for it when you already know you have it. And my 2 cents around that sort of a philosophy is that yes, I absolutely get the concept of not needing to affirm for it when you already have it. It's like, why would you check dinner 10 times a day when you already know it is cooked and kept in the refrigerator, right? So I absolutely get that logic. But even if you are confident about the fact that what you want is already yours, you still need to affirm for those limitations around certain manifestations that you think it is not possible. If you have been someone who perennially believed that yes, I am someone who will never be chosen, I will always a third part, there is always a third party and all of that stuff, you will have to affirm for changing your beliefs around them, because affirmations are not just techniques, they are a bunch of thoughts that you tell yourself. And the biggest thing in manifestation that you need to do is to convince yourself. So what happened on the day I ended up being blocked by my SP on the day that we were supposed to meet? So I'll tell you, during that whole month, I was extremely paranoid. My self-concept was going low, and it was December, and during December, I constantly have seasonal depression, right? So since it was very new for me and I was mostly excited during the initial months of, having manifested him back and getting to talk to him all the time, and all of the things were going good, like I had actually affirmed for them and like I always visualized them to go good. But with my mental health condition worsening during the winters, I eventually started spending more awareness on my fear. Now, do you understand the verbiage that I'm using? Spending more awareness on the fear, right? So when you know that your fear is really strong and you do not want that to become a part of your belief system and eventually become an assumption and let it manifest, what do? You start affirming the opposite. That is the whole point of affirmations. So when we had a fight, so we were having a series of fights and we were making up every day. And the last fight that we had, that really triggered his old self-concept. So here I was still stuck in my old self-concept, giving more priority to my fears, to my trauma, to the old story, and there he was reflecting me. And he said, Olivia, if we fight like this all the time, then we will not be happy. I don't think there is any reason to be together by being so bitter. And I still believe that I don't deserve you. And yes, he exactly said what I was fearing the most. What if he again goes back to the version he used to be, the insecure, low confident version who did not think that he deserved me? So that got reflected. Now, this also happens in most of the times, in most of the cases that I see my clients also telling me about, and I see that a lot. You fall in love with someone, you go out, and when things get deep, you start fearing everything. You call them avoidant, you call them neurodivergent, you say that they are so busy, you start describing them in ways, in adjectives which are not going to help you. So your logical mind takes complete control over you, and what happens as a result of that? Your fears get manifested. Now, another thing that I really believe about our logical mind taking control over our assumptions at one point of time is the fact that a part of us still believes that what we want or what we are affirming for is never going to come true. So that is the lack of faith and insecurity, and also the residual old story still playing a major role in your subconscious mind. And that is why you need to keep on affirming. And in my courses, I do not just give affirmations that we all know in this community. I make my clients script, I make my clients do affirmations, we do visualizations, we have conversations. There are a lot of things. So my courses are essentially very strict. Now, let's move on to what exactly I did when my SP was telling me the things that I did not want to hear. So I was traveling to his place and he told me that he does not want to meet me and there's no future if we keep on being so bitter with us. And I was actually traveling with a lot of people and they knew that I am supposed to meet him. And back home, everyone in my friend circle and my family knew that I am finally supposed to meet the love of my life. So you can imagine the amount of tension, anxiety and embarrassment I was facing firsthand. And in that moment, I really applied what Sammy has been teaching us all this while. And this is why exactly you need a coach or someone who you blindly believe on YouTube. For me, it was her. For you, it could be me, because I never found a course as detailed and as elaborate like, I have made this. There is like 1v1 hand-holding, which I really think is important in order to keep your mental diet in check. Because the 4 sessions that I cover with you is not just about the video calls that we have. It is also about what you are exactly thinking on the regular basis for 7 days, and you report to me every day. That is what I do with my clients, which I did not have the experience of when I was manifesting my SP, and that is why so many tests and trials. And during that day, I told myself very clearly one thing. Now here is a decision, and affirmations make decisions like this, in your head, in your story. So what I said, I don't care what he says, I don't care what I see, I am not going home without the date that I imagined. And in that morning, I saw a scene from a movie where the guy is, telling the girl, like, the long distance never works, and she just looks away and, sheds off a tear. And then she says looks back at him and tells him, do you want me to come down or are you going to come up? And then she comes down and then they hug, and I was like, God, please make it happen today. So with affirmations, I also believe in God, because I know I am protected AF. I am his favorite child. So when you have that sort of a thing with God, then it is very, very, very natural for you to also believe that you are lucky. And on that day, I really did not care about how I feel and how things are going to be. I really needed the success story in my archives. I could not go home and tell people that I did not come with a success story. So I kept on affirming, he is coming, he's showing up at my door. And guess what? In the evening, when when we traveled all the way to his city, and my sister was like, are you coming and joining us? And I was like, no, because I was really depressed. I was not eating. I was barely functioning on 2 hours sleep. And I was sitting in my hotel room when everyone left. I was smoking my cigarette and I was just telling myself, this is not going to happen the way it looks. It is going to happen the way I have imagined, and he is coming to see me right at the door. That was my affirmation. I kept on affirming that robotically with the knot in my chest. So if it requires you to affirm through tears, please do that. So from not responding to my texts overnight and then eventually blocking me, to picking up my phone call. So what I did was I called him. So since my affirmations were working, although I was blocked on WhatsApp, he picked up my normal phone call, right? And before that phone call, I told myself, why am I crying over something that is eventually going to work in my favor, and nobody treats me like this? I have never treated anyone like this, so I simply don't deserve it. So apart from the affirmations, I was also choosing a version of me that believed that no matter what I see, I always get what I want. And I called him and I told him, it doesn't work like this. You are supposed to come and see me. And you know what he said? Like the sweet person he is, he just told me, you know what? Just get dressed. I'll come to pick you up. And yes, just exactly the way I imagined for 2 years, 1.5 years, that he would show up at my door. He did show up at my hotel door. Now see, it is against policy to tell any visitor what is the guest's room if the guest is not aware of it. So I wasn't aware. But since manifestation has to be perfect, and since affirmations always work, and since you should never stop robotically affirming, he actually showed up at my door when he asked about me. And they told me where my room was. And here I was closing the door and I turned around to see SB was standing there in flesh and bones. And this is not just the only example. When the first time I first knew about robotic affirmations, and even before I knew about robotic affirmations, I would do the Hanuman Chalisa. Now, it works like a placebo, right? You believe in God, but ultimately it's a placebo. If you think that the water you drink every day is going to heal your body, then that acts as a placebo. So you can use placebos as affirmations, right? So before I knew about robotic affirmations, I would read out the mantra, the Hanuman Chalisa, whenever I was in moment of crisis and when the 3D showed opposite. And the first time I ever started testing the robotic affirmations, there was another incident that I faced in college when I was graduating from my master's, and there was some discrepancy regarding my documents. And the day I went for my convocation, they said that I did not submit my documents, which I thought that I did, and I did not understand. I still don't understand what the loophole was. But these people, the administration was really strict, and they are very cocky also. So they were like, no, we are not going to give you a degree. You're not going to go up on the stage and get your degree. You will get it later through all that la-di-da-di-da. And I was like, I am going to get up on this stage. And I kept on affirming. I got into fight with some of the professors, the HOD, who everyone is scared of. But I have always been an outspoken person. And I said that, you know what, I paid and I studied here. So if I am having some problem on the last day of my college, and if this is the memory that you are giving me, then I don't think that I'm at fault. I will take accountability of the mistakes that I've done, which I clearly don't understand. But at the same time, you also owe me some sort of damage control for the way you are behaving. And I kept on affirming. And so this is not about who is right or wrong. LOA is always working. Law of assumption is always working. As long as you think that you are going to get what you want, you are going to get what you want. And since the strong-headed person I am, I never take no for an answer. And I just kept on affirming. And there was this sweet classmate who was sitting beside me during the convocation ceremony. And she saw that I was having those panic attacks, right? I was like literally shivering, but I was so mad and so anxious also. But I kept on affirming, and she held my hand. And I will never forget that moment. And she's like, it's okay, it's going to happen. And I was like, yeah, I know, okay. And then they called my name. 2 minutes back, they were saying that you will not go up stage. So my point is, what you are actually doing when the 3D is showing opposites. And mind you, everyone is an anxious person. I also have terrible anxiety, and I know how it feels. But giving up is not a solution. You cannot give up. So when you see the opposite, you're supposed to treat 3D like a bitch, like it does not exist and this is a farce. And even if you feel affected by it, you are going to forgive yourself for being like, okay, that is what my old self-concept manifested. That is not what my future looks like. And certainly I'm not going to write my future based on my past experiences. I am going to write my future from this very moment based on the decision I take now. Do I want to be treated the way I have been treated by the 3D all this while? Or do I really want to get a grip on myself and take control of my story and rewrite it exactly the way I want? And yes, you cannot give up on affirmations. You cannot stop affirming till you have stopped doubting the law. That is the whole point of affirmations, especially robotic affirmations. Repeating that one sentence again and again and again really controls your mind. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe. And if you want coaching from me, please check the description box below. I have my email there. You can send me an email with what you want and I'll send you the course details and I'll get in touch with you. Thank you so much. We'll meet once again.